to the richness from this morning's dialogue. I'm now going to invite Jessica Ranieri to do the daily wrap-up for day one. So thank you very much.
We're nearly there. End of the first day. Everyone gets a round of applause, I think. Okay, I've got the very tough task of trying to summarize how we went today. I promise, guys, I know we've got half an hour in the agenda, but if you give me like 10 minutes of your attention, I can wrap it up. Is that a deal? Let's just do it because I am busting for the loo. I haven't had a chance to go. So let's work together. We can do this. All right. Obviously, I couldn't be in every place, so I don't have a wrap up for all the sessions, but we're gonna just like go with the flow. Here is what, after hearing the presentations, listening to your workshops, and having conversations with you, this is what I've taken away from today. Very quickly. Health as a concept of physical health. We're done with that as the only way we're thinking about health. We, as the Pacific, we really want to move forward with that idea, and we want to have the Pacific school food environments that they really need to consider how food and nutrition initiatives can be used to improve these multiple dimensions of health. So we take that forward. Traditional foods don't mean that they have to be prepared in traditional ways. Simple, cheap food preparation methods can encourage students and their teachers to try new foods that they might not otherwise be familiar with, and maybe even reinvigorate excitement about traditional food, because we know there's a bit of a challenge in the Pacific with younger generations not really opting to choose for local foods all the time. And then maybe we'll actually help to increase demand for these foods that even stimulate the local food system at the same time. School meal programs are a very popular topic, and it always is when we're talking about school food environments. And I heard school meals really dominate a lot of the conversations and sessions that we had today, and with good reason, because they're so effective. And we'll talk more about school meals throughout the days, but you know, I think that the Pacific is in a really unique situation, because even though we only have a handful of countries with national school feeding programs in place, boarding schools are in every country, and they are the norm, and they already provide food to children. So I'd love us to think as we go forward about how we can use that as the low-hanging fruit. It's such pardon the pun, it's such a unique opportunity that the rest of the world doesn't actually have when they were setting up their school meal programs. We were already halfway there. So I think we could think about that as we move forward, about how we can leverage that when we're talking about how we want to move forward with school meals. And it's not just about kids, and it's not just about the people who are preparing foods. We kept hearing today in different sessions about how important communities are, and traditional and Indigenous cultures and practices and knowledge and values, how they are an asset for school food environments in the Pacific. And I think that's something that we can draw on even more strongly as we move forward. We heard a lot about challenges today, and in particular, what kept coming up were challenges about working multi-sectorally. Health wants to drive nutrition and health activities or approaches, interventions, but school food is often led by education. So we are actually going to have a session tomorrow that will deep dive into multi-sector collaboration in the school food space, but I think it's interesting it's come up organically by itself from day one. Eating healthy at schools appears to be challenging. Student diets are constrained in terms of diversity and quality from preschool kids all the way through to secondary school. We have limited availability and access to healthy and nutritious foods. Lunchbox audits we heard in Fiji are seeing a decreasing trend in diet quality since 2022. I mean, we have very limited data when it comes to student diets, and what we saw today was really a little bit concerning. And in terms of equity, Professor Georgia presented some really interesting data around how there was an inequity between private and public preschool students as well. So again, thinking about inclusion and how we try to ensure equity when we're dealing with our children. We've just come out of an inclusion session right now, which we were very happy to talk a lot, but I don't have a summary point. But what I think I would say on the fly is that people are thinking about inclusion broadly, but perhaps we're not really thinking about programming intentionally in terms of gender equity, about disability inclusion, about Indigenous and other vulnerable groups in terms of how we can improve their access and participation in school food activities. Often when we're thinking about food preparation, often it's the girls that are like leading them. But how do we get boys and girls involved with food and excited? I think that's something we need to go a little bit further on. Nutrition, we keep hearing about nutrition policies, food safety and quality standards have kept coming up today at different points. I think generally we've agreed that they're incredibly important. Not every country that's working with school food or some type of school food provision has them, but we need them. And even if you have them, it's not enough. You need to enforce them. And I think this also brings, we were hearing some things about how that is also multi-sectorally challenging as well, because in schools, it's this Department of Education that's responsible for enforcement, but they might not necessarily have the skills and capacity to do so from a health perspective. Unfortunately, I do not have a summary point from the sourcing local food sessions. So Mingwei, could you please shout out? Are you in the room? I don't have my glasses on. I can't see. Eileen, you got your hand up. Excellent. Oh, yes, right there. Yeah, highlight, takeaway. Reintroducing them in different ways. And then the other one that came from sourcing healthy soil, healthy food, healthy. So really, it's got also feeding our soil. All right. Thank you. Excellent. I was referring to your first session about innovative foods. It was the sourcing one. Aquatic fishy friends. Yes. Pause. Okay. Yeah.
Need some more detail around the food. Thank you. Around the supply, food safety and acceptance for students, and lots of opportunities of exploring how to integrate them into programs more, using things like local recipes as well.
Thank you very much. I think that's all the sessions in a nutshell. So another reflection though is we've talked about sustainability already a little bit. It's come up. I'm really tired. It has come up itself organically a few times. And not just in terms of school meal programs, but other types of school food initiatives. I've heard this intervention was really good. It worked really well. It was funded by XYZ. Unfortunately, it didn't get taken up. So I want us to think about that as we move forward in the next couple of days about why is that? How can we have such great interventions and programs that aren't getting picked up by government? And what does that mean? And what do we need to change about how we are doing things? So not only are we co-creating and supporting that co-creation, but also, making sure what we're doing is relevant. And sometimes I think we aim for the stars, and sometimes we need to just aim that little bit lower. Good enough is also okay when we're learning. What also became really apparent, and this will be my last point, I promise, is that there really is an opportunity to learn from each other. I think today we've really heard stories about people who are on the school food journey at different scales. From a school meal program perspective, we have people who've been doing it for years. We have people who are planning about it, and there are some who are thinking, okay, how can I convince it? You guys are a team, right? This is what the network is for. This is what the Talano is for, to bring you together to support and learn. We don't have a lot of data available, but we have each other. So I really encourage you tonight at our dinner, have a drink, have some dinner, have a dance. Let's build those relationships together so we can go arm in arm together in this journey forward as we're really trying to bring forward improving Pacific school food environments for our children, for our futures altogether, because it's such a great opportunity. Thank you. Oh, thank you. So that's my summary, but we have this slide for the attendees chat. So I can see not everyone has joined the WhatsApp chat. If you're not involved, if you're not in the chat, get on the chat. If you have trouble getting in the chat, let us know. And if you actually don't want to be in the chat, that's absolutely fine. But we might send messages there, share photos, etc. So join if you can. Teleno agenda files. And do we have the Microsoft form? Excellent. Okay. Please, this is unfortunately for the donors. We would love to, we've got 3 very, very short questions. Very, very short questions. Please scan the QR code. At the end of every day, we will ask you these 3 questions, which is about essentially what you've taken out of today. We would really appreciate if you could take a minute now to fill those out. Sarah will dance to the drums while you... Yeah, okay, 100% response rate. Is anyone having troubles getting in? I can come and help. You need some help? Yeah. For those who cannot use QR codes, and I also understand that as a ex-DFATer, we were not allowed to use QR codes on our phones either. What I will do is if you join the WhatsApp group, I'll send the link there. See what I did there? Okay. So I'll do that. I'll pin that up there. And then one last task. We have some friendly fishy friends in FAO who are running a survey on aquatic foods in school meal provision initiatives. Those of you in the aquatic session already heard this. Some of you haven't. Molly is running that survey. Molly Ahern, she is a ex-colleague of mine, good friend, and she has extended the deadline of the survey just so that we could spruik it at this Talanoa. We have had some responses from the Pacific, which is excellent, but we will ask if any of you are doing anything around aquatic foods related to school food provision. Please take the time to do the survey, because if we can get the Pacific into global publications and data, that is how we get visibility about what is happening in our region. So this is your chance, I think, not only chance, but it's a chance right now that we can start to try to elevate visibility of the Pacific in a global agenda. Okay, I am really done now. Thank you.
Please, can we give a round of applause to each and everyone in this room? We've completed day 1 of the Talanoa, of the first ever Talanoa for the Pacific School Food Network. So thank you very much. I have nothing to add except for 2 reminders. Tonight's dinner is here in the Bavaria room from 7 o'clock. And the second reminder is we've had a really exciting day. We're looking forward to tomorrow. So we look forward to seeing you all at 8:30 in the morning. Just one more piece of information for tomorrow. Please be on time. We've just received confirmation this afternoon that the Minister for Education for Fiji, the Fiji's Minister for Education will be with us tomorrow. So we look forward to seeing you at 8:30. Thank you so much.